Manchester United fans, we need to talk. Have you seen the headlines lately? Højlund leaves United, goes to Napoli, and boom, he's scoring again, even bagging 2 in the Champions League. You might think it's clickbait, but trust me, it's not. The truth runs way deeper than just one striker finding form. This is about the board, it's about the manager, it's about the players. And it's about the system and how it affects the striker. So stick with me, because today we're going to break it all down. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, because here, we give you the real truth about Manchester United. Let's rewind. When Ten Hag signed Rasmus Højlund, he was just 20. A young striker with raw potential, yes, but we all saw glimpses of something special. He wasn't Haaland, he wasn't Mbappe, but he was a proper number 9 who worked hard, pressed, and had that killer instinct in the box. And let's be honest, his debut season wasn't bad at all. 10 goals in the Premier League, 5 in the Champions League. At one point, he was even among the top scorers in Europe's biggest competition, the Champions League, before United crashed out. For a 20-year-old in his first season at Old Trafford? That's solid. But then the collapse came. Ten Hag was sacked. Amorim arrived. And suddenly Højlund looked finished. For goals the entire season. And now fans were calling him a flop. But was it ever about Højlund? Or was it about the chaos around him? Yes, he was struggling with hold-up plays sometimes, but think about it. How many times did United players find him? How many times do the wingers and midfielders create for him? A lot of people don't know that Manchester United for the past few years don't play for their striker, they play for themselves. This is where the real cracks start showing. Amorim came in, looked at the squad, and said, "We need a midfielder." Clear as day. He had already signed Cunha and Bruno to fix the attack. What he needed now was balance in the middle. But the board? They didn't listen. Instead, they pushed for another striker, Benjamin Sesko. Now, don't get me wrong, Sesko is quality. In fact, I rate him higher than Højlund in some aspects. He's taller, very quick, better hold-up plays, more technical. But here's the issue, both are young. Both still need time to improve. So why spend huge money on Sesko when the midfield is crying out for reinforcements? And here's the key, Amorim never asked for Sesko. He asked for a midfielder. The board ignored him, forced a player he didn't prioritize, and now what do we have? Sesko struggling in the exact same way Højlund did, but guess what? The board won't get the criticism, but the coach get blamed, and we can see that happening now. This isn't about talent. It's about service. Strikers can't score if they don't get the ball in the right areas. And yet the board keep chasing strikers for the headlines instead of fixing the midfield. That's not just poor planning, that's sabotage. I really think the manager should decide who he wants to sign and what he needs to make his system work. And not the board, because it's the manager that has the insights for this system to work. He knows what the teams lacks and he told them, but they didn't give him those players. Let's talk tactics. Why do strikers flop at Manchester United? It's not rocket science. It's the players and also the system. We don't play for the striker. Simple as that. Look at how we set up 2 number 10s behind the striker. And what do? They go for goal themselves. Instead of finding the striker, they take the shot. Secondly, we see the wing-back sending wrong crosses, and when they can't find him they goal for other available players. That's why we see more cutbacks to midfielders than proper crosses into the number 9. Think about De Bruyne and Haaland at City. That relationship is deadly because KDB lives to feed his striker. At Arsenal, Odegaard is obsessed with finding his forwards. At United? The striker becomes a decoy, a hold-up man, someone to keep defenders busy while others try to score. That's what happens, the striker is used as a tool to grab defenders and then other players score. That's why Sesko look average. It's not about their talent, it's about how they're used. And this is where it all collapses, the midfield. Amorim begged for a proper midfielder. Press resistant. Ball playing. someone who could dictate tempo, carry the ball, and protect the backline. The board gave him nothing. So what do we have? Bruno and Casemiro. Two players who are world-class in their own right, but together they don't work. Bruno isn't a deep midfielder. Casemiro doesn't have the legs anymore. And when they play together, United have no balance, no control, and no creativity from deep. Now imagine this instead, Belieber and Manu running the midfield. Or Belieber with Wharton. One to dictate, spray passes, control possession. The other to press, run, break lines. That's balance. That's modern football. But instead, we keep relying on Bruno to do a job he can't do, and Casemiro to cover the ground of two players. Then we have wing-backs that can't cross the ball. We have wingers that would go for the goals rather than passing to the striker. No wonder Sesko and Højlund look starved. The ball never reaches them. Let's compare. Look at City, they bought Haaland, but they also had De Bruyne before he left. Now they have Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Doku, Tijani Reinders. Players who live to supply him. Look at Arsenal, they have Gyökeres, and with Odegaard, Rice, Saka and Eze feeding him, he looks like a complete forward. At United, we do the opposite. We buy the striker, but never the players to feed him. Only Bruno tries to find the strikers, and now Bruno is used as a deep midfielder. And then we wonder why he fails. It's a cycle. The board, the system and the players. And this is where we, as fans, feel betrayed. Year after year, we're told a rebuild is happening. Year after year, we're told a proper project is underway. But what do we see? The same mistakes. The same short-term thinking. Amorim asked for a midfielder. He didn't get one. Now results are suffering, fans are angry, and the blame is going straight to the manager. Sound familiar? It's the exact same story with most of the past managers. The board fail, but the manager pays the price. So here's the truth. Højlund wasn't the problem. Sesko isn't the solution. The real issue is Manchester United's board. Until they give the manager the right tools, until they fix the midfield, until they stop chasing headlines and start building a proper team, nothing will change. You could put Haaland himself in this United squad, and even he'd struggle. Because football is about balance. Without a midfield, there's no supply. Without supply, there are no goals. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think United made a mistake buying Sesko instead of fixing the midfield and fixing the wing-backs? Or do you think the club were right to chase another striker? Drop your opinions in the comments, I'll be reading them all. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash the like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Because here, we don't sugarcoat, we tell the real truth about Manchester United. See you in the next one, Reds. And remember, without a foundation, you're just building castles on sand.